Good evening, gamers, and welcome to my amazing review. A review so good that it'll make you, yes you, as you lay on your oh-so-comfy sofa, say to yourself, wow, this guy is kind of awesome and hilarious, and you'll like and subscribe, or else bad, terrible, no good things will happen to you. Things such as slow Wi-Fi, where it feels neither present nor entirely absent, so you kind of sit there being increasingly annoyed that it won't make up its mind, and wait, where was I? Oh yes, my awesome review of BattleBlock Theater, a game where you... What is it you do in this game again? Oh yes, that's right. You do platform stuff. Wow. You and your friends have been shipwrecked on a private island filled with evil cats. Cats, yes. The island is filled with fat, evil orange cats. Kind of like my cat. See? Just sitting there all plump and juicy and unassuming. But make no mistake, dear viewer, behind that orange pattern layeth a mirage, an illusion even, of pure concentrated evil. Oh yes, anyways, in this game you get to jump and die a lot. You can also play with your friends too. What say you, dear viewer? Do you possess the fortified fortitude to forwardly march your way out of this fortuitous circumstance? Wait, hold on, I'm getting a call from my producer. He's saying that this bit has gone on too long. Well, that's it then. I don't do overtime. Bye! So, did you think that was funny? No? Okay. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm sure you found it so totally hilarious. However, here we are. Well, I'm here. You are wherever it is you are. Nevertheless, we're talking about BattleBlock Theater today. I remember playing this game a lot as a kid, actually. Now that I think about it, all of the Behemoth games, the guys that made this, made some really good games. Alien Hominid, BattleBlock Theater, and Castle Crashers, which is getting a DLC apparently after all this time. I remember playing these games a lot with my cousins growing up, back in my youth. So it's nice to revisit it, but yeah, this is the platform game, so let's get started with the review. Visually, I think this game's quite pretty. It has a great artistic look, everything is cartoonish and stylized. I don't mean stylized like some weird corpo art or an AI rendition of Hattie chugging down a six-pack. I mean, everything feels intentional, from the textures to the character design, to getting mauled to death by that fur thing with antlers. It all works together. It's quirky, but not in a pretty please find this funny sort of way. Plus, the game was released before the Cork Chungus movement, as it were, took off. So I think it's safe from that form of scrutiny. Overall, though, it looks really nice. It's not gonna blow your socks off, I guess, but I think it's really pretty. From the visuals to the audio, everything has a very sarcastic theater trope feel to it. It would be wrong to say that this game has a specific musical genre when it comes to the audio, because there's a good variety in here. The main menu is unabashedly my favorite piece, but every piece...
Find the gems and put them in your pocket. Then find the door and you can unlock it.
But every piece carries this comedic undertone. It's a bit difficult to put it into words. The sounds are also good. Nothing too standoutish compared to the music. You can make yourself fart as hard as you blow up though, so that's nice. Wanna know how I got these scars?
A valiant effort indeed.
I'll confess that coming back to play this game after not touching it since my childhood had put me into a position of uncertainty, primarily concerning the narrator, who you're gonna hear throughout the entirety of the game. I think most people now have experienced, or at least know of, the annoying narrator NPC that sort of plagues a lot of AAA modern games. You know, the ones that talk every 2 seconds when you're trying to solve a puzzle or move somewhere, as if you'd forget how to breathe if you weren't reminded of it constantly. A friend of mine asked me before we played this if the narrator was going to be like Claptrap from Borderlands, and I thought that was a really interesting question to help me phrase what my concern was going into this. The Claptrap dilemma, as I'm calling it as of this moment, is that Claptrap in the first Borderlands game was quirky, but he was a side character. The game didn't intentionally set out to give him the spotlight and make him this recurring, you know, vessel of spewing quips every 5 seconds. I struggle to call it Marvel writing because I don't think we were there quite yet at that point. But in the second Borderlands game, Claptrap becomes this intentionally quirky character where the game really wants you to realize how funny and comedic he is, to the point where it becomes grating. All this to say that the BattleBlock Theater narrator is not like this, and I quite like him. If you think he talks too much though, you can turn down the frequency in the settings as well. Do levels, get gems, get yarn, profit bigly. That's the entire gameplay loop wrapped up in a sentence. Of course, there's more depth to it than that. The game's broken up into chapters. Each one brings new obstacles as you platform for each level. Each chapter has 9 regular levels, a climax level, and free time levels, plus a secret level somewhere in there for all those with a nose to sniff them out. Warning to all the games journalists. I guess this is before Cuphead blew up, but the Cuphead dilemma as well is present in the start of the game. If you can't double jump, you might get filtered, but I'd wager that's not a problem for most of you. Gems are your cosmetic currency used for unlocking different performers that you can use to customize yourself. Yarn is for tools. Don't sleep on your tools. I had been ignoring them, but then in my darkest hour, I realized that the plunger can just skip puzzle solving entirely. I must confess that normally I'm not a fan of platforming, like at all. I think the closest I'd ever come to playing a platforming game previously was Assassin's Creed. No hate to the genre, I just don't care for it. However, this game makes an exception for itself. It takes mechanics that I normally cannot stand in games, time trials, puzzle solving, etc., and turns it into a package that I just love. I've given some thought to this and I think I figured out why. It has to be the combination of the art style, the music, and the overall pacing of the game. If you slowed this game down by half, I'd probably find it immensely boring. The time trials though, my god. The time trials are so rough the further along you go in the game. It's like I was being rage baited. Never gave in, but man, it gets rough. There's co-op in this game too, and I don't mean co-op as in team-based play, but actual cooperative play. The game also changes the layout of the levels for co-op too, which I really like. Outside of the normal campaign, you have Insanity Mode, Fur Bottoms features, and an arena. Insanity Mode just means there's no checkpoints. Fur Bottoms features, I think, was at one point a way to showcase popular levels in the game. Whoever made the block mines, I hope you're doing better now, because part of me wonders what real-world circumstances caused you to develop such sadistic levels. And hey, if you like the game enough and want to make your own levels or play someone else's, there's ways of doing that too. There's not much for me to cover in terms of a story. Don't get me wrong, there is one, but all of it is portrayed in these really nice theatrical presentation cutscenes between chapters. And there's nothing I feel like I could say to describe the story other than to show you the cutscenes. And because I don't want to inflate the video's runtime, I'm not going to be doing so. So that's it. Even if you're not a big fan of platformers, I say give this one a try. It normally runs for $15 on Steam, which is arguably worth it. Personally, I'd wait for a sale or buy it somewhere else. The next video might be another indie hit. As of recording this, it's the day before the Castle Crashers DLC releases. I think this game's going to get DLC too. So I might hop on Castle Crashers next. I'm not sure if I'm really dedicated enough to tackle a large game yet, but we'll see. You see? Until next time. You see?